So this is my 78 Camaro. Got it in exchange for a C5 that I had. I had a C5 and I had blown up the transmission in it, and I listed it as a roller because I wanted to keep the motor. And the owner of this car gave me a deal I really couldn't refuse. He gave me this car with a built turbo 350, basically like less than 1,000 miles on it. He had a built 358 small block Chevy in here, aluminum heads, GM Performance, fast burns, forged Eagle rotating assembly, and fresh motor. The whole build was fresh on the car, but cam bearing wanted to walk a little bit in the block. So he ended up giving me the car with the motor. The motor was sitting on the engine stand, but the rest of the car complete as it sits. I got the other matching rear wheels for it in my basement. I had the front wheels off of it too. I didn't want them to sit out here over the winter, but so he gave me the car with the motor, trans. I ended up taking the short block to the machine shop, the 355/58 small block, and I had that gone through, and then I sold the short block and made money on that. And then I sold the heads. I sold everything else that came with it, the single plane intake, the rockers, roller rockers, and just all the good stuff that he had. It was a really nice setup. But in addition to giving me the car in exchange for the C5 as a roller, I got to keep my motor that I just built for the C5. So I probably don't have even 5,000 miles on this. As you guys know, it's LS2 bottom end. And when I got the motor out of there, you know, I had some ported 241s on there, but now we have L92s, 5364s, and I changed the cam to match as well. As a 231 247, and LS3 intake and Speed Engineering long tubes, which fit perfectly on both sides. Tons of room. I got some 3-inch single chamber mufflers that'll be going on here. There's the cowl hood up top. So hopefully I can finish this car up here soon in the next couple weeks and get her out and get her moving. Shouldn't take much. I just got the motor, the trans all bolted up, torque converters locked in. I still have to order my front accessories yet, so I just had this on there for mock-up. That's a truck pump, but I need to order an F-body water pump and accessory brackets so I can lock that in the front. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the next thing that'll come out the garage. Update time for the 78. So today I got some goodies in, or just recently I got some goodies in. I got my Jegs 8.5 millimeter wires in. They have multi-angle spark plugs, boots on them, so I was able to use those in conjunction with the Speed Engineering headers, and they fit pretty well. Right now I have some NGK, I think they're TG5 or something like that, but in any event I'm switching them out to some TR6s just in case I want to hit it with a little spray or something. But so I got the spark plug wires in. I got these silicone couplers from Amazon earlier this week, along with my new band clamps, and I was able to make my own cold air coming over here. At some point I'll probably come off this way and block this off from the under hood and try to seal it against the hood for some true fresh air. And I may even come down here and trim the battery tray so that I get fresh air and not just under hood air. What else do we have? So you guys know from videos probably from years ago that I use the F6 for wire loom to cover the wires up whenever I do a harness. And with this project, this is my first time trying this. I decided to put it on my heater hoses as well. I like the way that they came out. I want to get them uniform and sitting over to the side, kind of like this. So what I ended up ordering were these pieces from Amazon. This is supposed to be for a dash 12 hose, which is 3/4, and that's what the one hose is 3/4, one is 5/8. But the plan is to get longer bolts. The hole is threaded all the way through, and then drill a hole in that inner fender and put a lock nut on the bottom and hold this to the fender. Hold this down to the fender. And then I also got this this ICT billet adapter. It's 551179, and it's M12 1.5, which is what the hole is in the head for the coolant temp sensor, to 3/8 MPT, which is the inside diameter, and that's what most old school coolant temp sensors use. So plan is to try to get this cinder, or a cinder like this, into the cylinder head so that I can read coolant temp, and it will go in right back there. Looking at the adapter, I don't think that the hole is large enough, but we are going to find out. Yeah, we are going to find out. I may have to drill this out larger. It may not work at all. We'll find out. That may not be the adapter I need. I just seen it, looking over it. But anyway, so like I said, made the cold air setup. And then I also installed, I had one of these from an F-body motor from years ago. This is the power steering cooler, and my understanding is sometimes these fail. This one has not. Pressure checks out just fine, but I didn't want to just use it and have it at 170 to 190 degrees, or whatever my thermostat's at, 190. By the time it comes out of the radiator though, on the cooling out, it should be cooler going into the engine, maybe 170, 160, 180. But in any event, my power steering coolant fluid wouldn't get that high or that hot unless I was doing like some autocross or something like that. So I was thinking to come out of the reservoir here, go into this cooler, out of this cooler, and into a air to air style or air to fluid style trans cooler out front in the grill, and then come back into the gearbox here. And that way I would get some heat removal, and just in case I'm heating it up instead of cooling it down. I don't know. I may use it, I may not. It's on here just in case I ever decide to autocross the car. Again, here's the interior seats are in but not bolted down yet, and carpet and hood are still up top. Passenger fender. I got this little guy in from Dakota Digital. This is SEN01-4160, and this is so that it will go into the trans, screw into the transmission where the speedometer goes. The trans cable, the speedometer cable, screws into this so that the cluster still works for speed, and these two wires go out to the PCM so that the PCM sees vehicle speed and the PCM is happy, and you don't shut off when you come down to a stop. Other than that, this F-body setup that I have here is sitting on truck spacing, ICT billet truck spacing kit, and even with it sitting on truck spacing and the radiator sitting in the stock location, it is a ton of room in front of this motor. A lot of room for activity. I was trying to see, like, if I ever decided to go boost it, if that's a big if, how and where would I mount the turbo. But I could come out this way with intercooler, I mean with the piping, go down, cross over, and put the turbo over here in this corner where this air filter is. That would be perfect. And then run the down pipe. The car does not have AC right now. At some point, if I decide to keep it long enough, because I always sell these things, get rid of them, I may put AC on it. If I do, I don't know if it's going to fit down in the stock location without trimming the K-member. I have to look that up. But if so, I would have room to come this way and go with the downpipe down. Might have to change the way these trans cooler lines are routed to get them up higher, as well as the battery cable, but it can be done. But other than that, that's a small little update. I got my throttle cable, which I made. I went to the yard, took one off of this is actually the cable from a LT style Camaro 93 to 96, but this is the cable for the this is the cable for cruise control because it's longer. The cable that's for throttle position or throttle body is actually a lot shorter. So I used this one and ordered the bracket. I was gonna make it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna order it. I was running out of time. I made one before. This is more like for the low carb with the one with the hole, but I went ahead and said I'll just throw that to the side for now. I might use that for another project. And I just ordered this one. It was $25, 26 bucks. And it works good with the factory cable. And then I had to buy a set of these ferrule stops, and that's to crimp the cable on the inside. So I just made it to the length that I needed to make it to. And that's pretty much it, man. I had these Bilsteins given to me. They're brand new. These were for an A-body. And an A-body's Bilstein, this part number, is about 1 inch and a half shorter. And I need to lower this thing because even when it's sitting on the ground, I have that much wheel gap. But I probably won't use those. I may end up trying to get a set of coilovers, do a set of coilovers, Viking or something over the winter. I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with those Bilsteins. I might put them up for sale or something, or give them to somebody I know. But yeah, other than that, that's the car, man, in a nutshell. She's coming together.